Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and I'm just wondering what led you to click on this video just now? Was it curiosity? Perhaps was it fate? Or maybe, perchance, it was a little serendipity. And that's what I want to talk about today, the 2001 film Serendipity, starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale, respectively. This movie, probably hails as the closest I get to romantic comedies as far as one that I actually enjoy watching. There are a couple other movies along those lines, like When Harry Met Sally. You've Got Mail to a certain degree. Um, Even Forget Paris. Those kinds of movies. I'm not really that much of fan of romantic comedies, but when they're done right and when they're done with an intriguing angle or something like that, I can dig it. And this is definitely one that I dig. Not least of which because, as I say, the cast in this, it's headlined by Cusack and Beckinsale, but you also have appearances from former SNL alum Molly Shannon, Jeremy Piven, who, needs no introduction. He is just awesome in pretty much anything he's in, anything and everything, really. You have appearances from John Corbett, who you may remember from Northern Exposure, Bridget Moynihan, and, of course, the master, Eugene Levy. I love his role in this movie, and I love him in most things too, as well as Jeremy Piven. But what I love about this movie, for a romantic comedy, I mean, anyone who's ever been smitten with someone, anyone who has ever cast longing looks at someone, whether it be in the classroom or, on the opposite aisle of a shopping center, that kind of thing, there's a certain level of, in human beings, this inherent sort of falling back on the graces, falling back on fate and serendipity, as the movie suggests, muses and all this stuff, an otherworldly, ethereal sort of guidance. And I don't necessarily believe in fate, but I believe things can be aligned and then it's left to us to take action. And a lot of what this movie is about is an impromptu meeting of the two title, actors, their respective characters, Cusack and Beckinsale, and it's over Christmas shopping. He has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, they want to get a gift for the respective, others. And they end up sort of, it's kind of love at first sight, but not head over heels love at first sight. It's kind of, I guess you could say reluctant, at least on Beckinsale's character's part. And so they end up having some coffee or tea or what have you, and the discussion inevitably turns to, maybe as they're about to part, maybe we should exchange phone numbers. Maybe, you never know what life is going to deal you, and maybe we want to have a backup in case it doesn't work out with our respective others, that kind of thing. And Beckinsale's character is very intriguing because there's an almost, not quite, but almost hypocritical sense to her character that comes later in the movie, because in the early portion of the film, she's very much sort of wrapped up in this idea of, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Fate will bring us together and all these kinds of things. And she puts Cusack's character through the ringer with all of these different things. Like she steals a $5 bill from him that he put his phone number on. She goes and spends it. If it comes back into my hands, then we're meant to be. They go into a hotel, and they're both supposed to go in to opposite elevators, and if they hit the same floor, they're meant to be, all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't work out. So a couple of years goes by, or a year maybe, whatever. And at this point, Cusack's character is engaged, and he's about to be married in 2 days, when all of a sudden, her character's name, Sarah, is everywhere to be found. There are hints, there are, almost stuffing down his throat, this aspect that, hey, you got to go find this girl that you first fell in love with, and maybe this marriage isn't supposed to be. He enlists his friend, Jeremy Piven's character, and I think it's really awesome that Piven and Cusack are real-life friends as well. Their rapport really translates well in this film. So basically the whole movie is them trying to find her, and the way fate or happenstance, coincidence, plays out to maybe, or maybe not, I won't spoil it for you, lead them back together again. And it's just, I love it, because as I say, with Beckinsale's character, there's a point where she becomes almost hypocritical in that she's kind of like a counselor, and she's talking to this guy who, in a position where we have all been before, we didn't go over and talk to that girl or that guy or whatever, and they got away. And now we're mulling it over and really kicking ourselves and regretting it. And, she basically says, well, you can't leave it up to fate. She's had a sort of change in opinion on that based on the fact that it failed so many years ago, or a year ago, whatever it was, the time span in the film. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this particular movie. I love the cast. I love the sort of way they're shining the light on romance and everything like that. And it's funny. It's entertaining. John Corbett's character is hilarious as sort of Yanni, or, whatever. He plays the clarinet in this sort of just trippy Indian music sort of band. And it's funny. Every little aspect of this movie. And it also complements, as I say, for the hopeless romantic in all of us, it complements that aspect of, there is somebody out there for all of us, which I truly believe can be the case. But as she says in this film, you can't leave it up to fate and fate alone. So yeah, I highly recommend checking this out if you haven't seen it before. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you're able to post what you thought of the film, if you've seen it, if it's one that you can stand to sit through or not. And otherwise, I hope this video finds you well. I'll catch you later. Peace.